Good afternoon, everyone, and this is my presentation of Big Authority, Little Teeth. To begin, my name is Stacy Allen. I'm 22, and I've been a certified dental assistant for 3 years, 2 of which I've spent as a pediatric assistant within my clinic. So the main purpose of my speech tonight is going to be that it is vitally important for parents and guardians to become knowledgeable on the standards of care given by pediatric dentists around the world. So our first point, we're going to start with a fun fact. According to the 2018 population, 327 million people were in the world. 93 million people were children, and 58 million of those children had some form of dental cavity, either on their adult tooth or their baby tooth. This is over half, which means this is a significant problem throughout the entire world. So moving on, how does this become such a big problem? One of the main key concepts of this problem is the lack of fluoride exposure that our children are getting throughout their childhood. Then infrequent trips to the dentist, and then improper prevention at home. So looking into fluoride, the common myth is that it'll make my children sick, or it'll make my baby sick. Well, yes, it could if your child eats the entire tube of toothpaste. So fluoride needs to be given to children ages 0 to 3 in a smear on the toothbrush. Because they can't spit reliably, you want to be able to control the amount of fluoride that goes into their system by the amount that you give them. And then from 3 up into adulthood, you can use a pea-sized amount, because those people can spit reliably into the sink. Fluoride is important because it is the main factor in the decline of dental decay from the 1960s to the 1990s. Dental fluoride, when given in a low dosage, such as toothpaste or mouthwash, coats the teeth and gives them the ability to stop demineralization on the enamel, so it prevents you from getting a cavity. And then when you go to the dentist and they give you a fluoride treatment, that provides your teeth with a temporary coating that combats the pH in your mouth when it becomes acidic. So it stops the bacteria's metabolism with the acid in your mouth. So moving on, dental visits. So children of all ages should be seen by the dentist. The American Academy of Pediatric Dentists has recently changed their guidelines. So their old guidelines used to be that the first dental visit was when the child was calm enough to sit in the dental chair. They've now changed that to 6 months after the eruption of the first tooth, or no longer after 12 months of age. And then from that, you want to take your infant or your toddler every 3 months compared to the old guideline of every 6 months. So dentistry is a preventative care, so you can't stop a problem if you don't know what's happening. And if they come every 6 months, chances are they're probably already going to have a cavity, and there's no way to prevent it. Okay, so then your children and your adolescents, so your children and your teenagers, they can come every 6 months. Unless they're undergoing orthodontic treatment, then they need to be seen whenever the orthodontist tells them to. Okay, so our next topic is prevention begins with education. So no one can complete a task that they don't know how to complete the right way. Parents are very ignorant when it comes to the fact of certain concepts that prevent decay the best. So no constant grazing. Children should not have a cup of juice all day long. Children should not be snacking all day long, especially on snacks such as anything that's a carb. So the little fruit puffs that the children love, Cheerios, yogurt, anything with a carb, because it takes 40 minutes after the consumption of a carb for your pH in your mouth to go back to neutral. Okay, so if you continually eat on a carb, your mouth is never going to recover, so you're always going to have an acidic pH. Next, children of all ages need to brush twice a day. Doesn't matter if they're 1 or if they're 14. They need to brush once in the morning for 2 minutes, and then once before they go to bed for 2 minutes. And then the most common thing I've seen in the clinic is milk when the children are going to bed. Yes, it does seem comforting, and yes, you as parents get a little extra sleep. But by giving them milk, that carbohydrate and that sugar sit on their teeth all night long. So their pH never fully recovers, and it just sits there until morning. And then if you don't brush in the morning, then it sits there for the rest of the day. So it's really, children are really prone to decay when they are given milk at bedtime. And then lastly, when the children's contacts, so when their teeth begin to touch, it's very important that you begin to floss. Okay, so you can start as soon as they're brushing their teeth, just because they're more familiar with it and it's not so foreign. Okay, so lastly, in conclusion, we've discussed why so many of our children are affected by dental decay and what parents need to know in order to make a prevention. So I dare you as a parent to go ahead and research information on your children, notice their patterns, and become more knowledgeable on how to properly take care of your children's teeth. All right, so here are my references, and then if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Thank you for joining, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye-bye.